Okay, good morning to everyone. Okay, good morning. Okay, and then right now I just switch on the recording. Okay, and then good morning, and then just a friendly reminder to all of you. Okay, would you please switch off your mic unless you wanted to share your viewpoint, and then you can switch on your mic. Otherwise, okay, switch off your microphone, and then no interactions, no distractions. Okay, and then from your background. Okay, because last time you mentioned that my delivery of the lecture was quite fast. Okay, and then that's why I try to slow down and also to recap the key points that I mentioned last time, because as I said, this lecture 2 and 3, the theoretical analysis, okay, actually this PowerPoint is very important. And then in the rest of the topics, okay, we will cover, actually we'll refer to these theoretical approaches. And then altogether, we will have 3 approaches, okay. Let's start it again, okay. Okay, and then a theory, that is a statement on to explain the how and why, or the particular facts they are related. Okay, sociological theory to explain the social behavior in the world. Okay, and also theoretical approach in Chinese hot pie. Okay, there is some basic the theme of the study, okay, in sociology. And then as usual, we will have for this basic sociological approach, we have 3 approaches, okay, and then the 3 approaches we will cover. And under each approach, there are numbers of theories under each approach, okay. Again, we can see that okay, and that there are 3 approaches in the sociological studies. First is structural functional approach, okay, and then the other one is social conflict approach. The other one is symbolic interaction approach. Under each approach, okay, there are numerous of theories, okay, and then you can understand the sociologist, okay, which approach he or she studies, okay, he or she prefers, and then the sociologist will develop the theories, okay, under the appropriate approach, okay. And then first of all, we will cover the Durkheim one. Okay, Durkheim, this one, Durkheim, and then he is he's the one from the social he's the one from the structural functional approach. Okay, and then what he emphasized. Okay, and then Durkheim emphasized that actually society is like a system. Okay, please remember some of the keywords. Okay, when you understand the keywords, you can understand the theory well. Okay, and then these are the very important keywords that can help you to memorize. Okay, the approach. Okay, which the approach that refers to, okay, which approach it refers to, and also the basic understanding of the approach. Okay. And then Durkheim always emphasized that societies is like a system, okay, and then all the human beings, okay, serve its functions, okay, we will carry out our role and also our functions, okay, and then when the people, they interact, okay, they cooperate with each other, and then that the society can operate smoothly, operated cohesively, and operated with harmony and stability, okay, and then this is the reasons why Durkheim will study, okay, in the society, a different structure and functions, okay, because he emphasized when he, okay, the sociologists under this approach, they will understand that society like a system. There are so many parts that can the society. There are so many parts in the society. There are so many parts. Okay, each part. Okay, they will carry out their own functions and role. Okay, when we have to understand this approach. Okay, we have to understand the structure and also the functions. Okay, and then that's why this type of approach, the sociology under this approach, they will try to understand the structure in the society and also to understand the function of the function inside the society as well. And then they wanted to know about how the different parts, they correlate, okay, and then carry out the operations of the in the society. That's why First of all, we have to understand, okay, what is social structure and what is social function. And then what is social structure? The social structure is an organized pattern in the society. And then inside the social structure, there are human beings, okay, they will interact with each other, okay. And then the social structure is not just a thing, okay, because, okay, under this social structure, the people inside it, they will have interactions, okay. And then that will make in the social structure, they will make the interaction will make the social structure operates, okay. And then we can see that there are some inside the social structure, there are some force, okay, we call it social force. Somehow they may not be very clear and visible, but the people will understand that actually there are some social force behind our behavior. For example, like I use an example, like in a social structure, for example, like in a social structure, for example, like you are a student, I am a teacher, okay, I have a function, I have to teach, okay, I have to perform teaching, okay, I have to perform the role as a advisor to give the students, okay, the consultations advice, okay. And then the students because they are students, okay, they have a role. For example, like they have to be listen to the teacher's instructions, okay. They have to work hard, study hard, they have to attend the examinations, they have to submit their assignments, okay. And then they have to perform their learning role, okay. And then under this, okay, the structure of a teacher and also the students, okay. And then we interact, okay, we interact with each other, okay. Again, you can see that actually why the student, for example, like they have to submit the assignment to the teachers, okay, they have to listen to the teachers, okay. These are the under the something like the social force, okay, norms, behavior, value, okay. And then when you come to the school, when you the student, they meet the teacher, they will bow and then say, good morning, Miss Wong, okay, something like that, okay. These are the social force behind the behavior, okay. And then this is the social structure, okay. 明唔明啊先呢度 social structure? Any questions about social structure? Right now, I just repeat what I taught last time. No 啊？咩叫 no 啊？You name yan no. What do you mean? You write down no. Is that any problem? Oh, you understand, okay. And then it's about social structure. In a society, there are so many structure, okay. And then you can see that in a company, okay, in a company, it is a social structure, okay. And then the boss and also the workers, okay. And then there are some social force, for example, like the employee, okay, they have to listen to the instruction, or they have to carry out their job duties, okay, because it's a social force behind the behavior of the employee, something like that, okay. And then social function is the consequence of any pattern of the operations of society as a whole. Okay, what is social functions? Social function, that means, okay, in every in every social structure, okay, and then we have in every social structure, it may have its own function. For example, school, the function of school, okay, and then carry out the functions of teaching and learning. Okay, and then coaching the student, teach the student what is right or wrong. Okay, teaching the students about the basic moral discipline. Okay, for example, like in family. Okay, when you are when the baby was born, when the baby just born. Okay, and then the father and the father and mother have to teach the student what is right or wrong, and something you can do or something you cannot do. Okay, in a government. Okay, in this and then in the government, they also has the social functions. Okay, they regulate the rules and regulations. Okay, and then they has to set up many patterns, okay, many standard, and then let the society to run smoothly, okay. And then you can see that from the school, from the family, from the government, all they carry out its own function, and then in order to make the society to have high level of conformity. OK， 點解個成個社會會大家共同一致可以生活得到？因為其實學校啦、由家庭啦、由政府啦，所有都會帶出一啲嘅功能㗎。呢啲功能全部同個社會係有關係㗎。Even though you can see that in our society, we can see that there are different structure, social structure. For example, like school, family, and government, and then each structures, okay, may carry out its own functions, okay, and role and functions, okay, and then at the end, that can make the society, the people will behave alike, okay, and then we have the conformity with the same standard, same living or same standard. Again, that can make the society with a harmony. If the school or family or government or any other social structure doesn't carry out its own function, and then the people, different people behave differently, and then that cannot make the society harmony, because you like crossing the road without regardless the green lights. Again, you just cross the road without notice any the coming of the cars. Okay, and then some people just wanted to wait until the green lights and then to cross the road. Okay, and that can make the society in a mess. Okay, and then that's why the social function, that means, okay, and then these are the consequence, okay, of a social pattern. Okay, and then to make the society work like a whole, okay, work as a whole, okay, and then this is about the social functions. That's why in a society there are so many social functions. Okay, each structure or system, they may have its own social functions. 呢個就係講緊一個社會個功能性，每個人都有個功能性，每個制度入邊都有個功能性。And then that's why I quote the example like school, family, and government. Okay, and then even though there are so many different structure, but at the end that can, because they operate with each other, and that at the end that can make the society, make the whole society smoothly, make the whole society with the harmony. Okay, and then with the high level of conformity. 咁你全部嘢有一致性嘅，啲嘢都好鞏固，好有一致嘅，咁變咗咪社會咪會平衡咯。OK, understand or not？ 明唔明先呢度 ？Durkheim 呢版明唔明？明唔明 ？Understand or not? Is it much better? Okay, good. And that is Durkheim. Okay. Okay, and then Durkheim also emphasized that to love society is to love something beyond us, and also love something in ourselves. Okay, and then that is a interesting idea that society exists beyond ourselves. That means it is self-perpetuating, exists forever, even though without the existence of the human beings, and then the society exists. Okay, because it's evolving. Even though I die, you die, and then your friends die, or any people die. Okay, and then but the society is still evolving, still developing, still exists. Okay, this is the meaning of to love society is to love something beyond us. We cannot control, because somehow, okay, the society is more powerful than individual. Okay, no any individual can control the society. Okay, and then but somehow the society also in ourselves. That means we have to. The society that can shape our behavior, shape our thinking, shape our value, because somehow our value, our norms, or our belief actually is already internalized. For example, every day when you wake up, you no need to remind yourself, I cannot kill other people. I cannot do the robbery. Okay, right now you don't need to remind yourself, because this kind of normal standard is already internalized in ourselves when we were very small, when we were in kindergarten, when we were in family, when we are nurturing. Okay, when we're growing up. Okay, even though when we already internalize in ourselves. Well, for example, when you see someone drop the money on the floor, you have the mindset that you cannot steal the money. You have to pick the money and then to go to, for example, to pick the money and then go to the to send it to the appropriate person, for example, like police. Okay, and then to report the case that you collect the money on the street. Okay, something like that. You don't need to remind yourself again and again, and something is not it is not, this is not right to do it, or it's not something that's not wrong to do it, because all these norms, all these beliefs, all these values, all these standards, okay, already internalized in ourselves. Okay, why it is internalized? Because the society already set all the standards. Okay, and then when we were small, okay, when we were in the kindergarten, or we were in the primary school, or even though you are in brought up in your family, okay, your parents would told you to do this, okay, and then your teacher in the primary school or in the kindergarten would already taught you about this kind of moral standard, okay, and then that means, okay, all these standards, okay, actually originate from the society, the meaning from the society that try to impose to the people in the society. Okay, and then that's why the society and the function, that means, okay, to love society is to love something beyond us. Okay, we cannot control, but it exists. When we was born, when you or me, okay, already born, okay, and then the society already exists. Okay, even though I die, you die, the society still exists. Okay, that is the reasons why it is something beyond us. Okay, and then also it is something in ourselves, because the society already impose, okay, or transplant this kind of norms, values, beliefs, or moral standard, okay, and then all into us. Okay, we already all these things already internalized in ourselves. Okay, when we were became a member in the society, when we was born, when you were born, when I was born, and then when I brought up, okay, and then from the kindergarten, from the primary school, from the personal development, okay, and then all we already knew it, okay, about the standard and then the norms, okay, that the society try to set to us, okay, and then this about society exists beyond ourselves. 明唔明呢度？明唔明？明呢度？明唔明？Okay, and then it's about and that's what is social facts. Social fact is, okay, about the pattern of behavior, and then actually social facts is something, a pattern of behavior that have the society to operate. For example, like when we across the road, we will see the green lights on the when we are on the pavement. Oh, okay. Sorry, got disconnected. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, got disconnected because this morning when I came to the office, I already switched on a couple of times in this classroom. Okay. But anyway, maybe today there may be some technical issue because for today class I tried to I came back a little bit earlier, but I think that there may be some technical problem because when this morning I came to the class at 10 o'clock. I tried to switch on the PowerPoint and everything, and then in this classroom, okay, there are a couple of times of disconnections. That's why I try to, if there is any stop or pause or disconnection, please pay more. Please, I will say that please tolerate a bit because I tried to restart it again because in this classroom this morning they got some problem. Okay, in this morning. Okay, and then let's continue. Okay, in the when I just mentioned about social facts is actually is a basic unit okay that Durkheim tried to investigate. Okay, Durkheim tried to look into every different patterns of behavior in the society, and then Durkheim emphasized that okay, each the pattern, each pattern of the behavior in the society that can carry out its own function as well. That's why Durkheim they try to one of a very classic examples of Durkheim investigation is crime. Okay, and then Durkheim also emphasized that okay, the crime can help the people to clarifying what the actions are wrong. That's why Durkheim explained that everything that in the society, every social facts in the society that can carry out its own functions. And then he used crime as an example. For example, like when there is crime in the society, and then that can carry out the function to let the people to understand what is right or what is wrong. Okay, you cannot go to robbery. You cannot do something illegally because you will get into jail, and then you maybe you have to pay the fines. You pay okay, you will be imposed by the penalty, and then you will sent to the jail. Okay, and then this kind of social facts that can help the people in the society, and then to clarify, okay, to distinguish, okay, what is what can be done and what can be done and what cannot be done. Okay, and then that means okay, it is the reasons why Durkheim try to have to use this example as crime that can help the people to have the directions in the society, and then to have also these social facts that can help the society to operate. Okay, and then this is about the social facts. 有冇問題 social facts 呢度？有冇問題 social facts? I try to repeat those points that I taught yesterday, last time. 有冇問題啊 social facts? 聽唔聽到我講嘢㗎 Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, good. No problem. Okay. Okay, okay. Oops, okay. Okay, and then society. Okay, society is also in our helping form our personality. Okay, society shape us by providing us a moral discipline. As I said, because in the society, we are the member in the society, and then all the norms, values, and behavior, and then even though the moral discipline already imposed to us. Okay, in different by different social structure. Okay, and then already imposed to us. And then the human beings have unlimited desire, so that the restraint of the society is needed. And then in Chinese, this is 人心不足如蛇吞象. That means everyone, even though we are imposed with the moral standard, or imposed by the society with some pattern or norms, okay, and then but somehow human beings are quite greedy, and then human beings would like to have more freedom, or more less restraint and more freedom, and then that is the reasons why in the society we have to have the moral regulations. We have the societal regulations, and then to restrain the people, what we can do and what we cannot do. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, the evolution of society. Last time I mentioned here. Okay, in the pre-industrial society, because okay, when every people they're doing some primitive living, for example, like fishing, agriculture, planting, or hunting, and then people living in a same village. Okay, and then by the traditions, okay, they live together. They naturally live together because they live in the same village. Okay, and then they earn their living by some primitive way of living. Okay, 用啲最原始嘅方法去到生活，耕田、種菜、養魚，即係種魚嗰啲啦，要養魚。Okay, and then that means okay, the traditional operator society Okay, let the people bound together. They're living in the same village. Okay, they shared the similar way of living, even though their thinking, their moral standard actually quite alike. Okay, and that's why they can get close together, and then they can bond to each other. They bind to each other. Okay, and then that means they have the strong collective conscience. Okay, and then they have the same understanding what is right, what is wrong, and then they have the same type of living. 物以類聚. When the people they live, they think, then they behave alike, and then they stay together. Okay, and then in the same village. And then last time I mentioned about for example, in the pre-industrial time, for example, like the people living, for example, like I use the Chinese culture, okay, and then the people live in the same place, and then there is an ancestral hall, okay, 祠堂, okay. When people did something wrong or did something illegal or something wrong, okay, and then all the cities, all the members in that village, or they would judge the people who did something wrong, or maybe brought that people and then to the ancestral hall, 祠堂, and then to be criticized, to be judged. Okay, and then all this pattern, okay, that living pattern that can make the people to stay together. Okay, and then this kind of solidarity, we call it as mechanical solidarity. People based on the tradition, based on the shared values, based on their similar moral standards, based on their in common, their consensus. Okay, they live together. Okay, because people think, their thinking, their living standard, their tradition alike. Okay, they join together, they live together, they bound together. Okay, and then this is about the mechanical solidarity. People somehow they have for example, they're living in the same village. Okay, they have the same type of behavior. For example, like as I said last time, wedding or some festival celebrations. Okay, they will did the same thing together. Okay, they celebrated together, and then or they have the very strong bonding with each other. Okay, they have the more or less quite similar sense of belongings, what they act like. Okay, and then this is about in the pre-industrial society, the solidarity based on the traditional, based on the same moral standard. Okay, it's based on the same thinking, same standard of moral values. Okay, and then this is about pre-industrial society. And how about the industrial society? And then because of the industrializations, okay, and then you can see that with the industrialization, and then no more people just earn their living by fishery, by agriculture, by planting, and then they try to work. They went to the factory to work. Okay, and then there are so many different job specifications. Okay, there was a divisions of labor, and then the people may have different role, different function, different works. Okay, and then the people may not think alike. They may not work alike. Okay, and then the traditional value, the traditional behavior already fading out. Okay, fading out, and then they may have in the industrial society. Okay, people might have different viewpoints. Okay, they may try to have different behavior. Okay, and then why this is organic solidarity? People stay together, but somehow they did not share the same value, did not share the same habit, but somehow they stay together, harmony. Why? Because it's an organic solidarity. Why? Because the people bound to each other because of they wanted to have to share their different functions. For example, I am a teacher, you are a bakery, okay, and you are a cook, okay, and then I am a teacher. I can teach your students. I can teach. I can teach your kids. And then for the bakery, and then I can buy bread or cakes or any food from the chef. Okay, and then this is about we try to in a society, even though we have a different role, different function in our work, we have a different job specifications, but somehow we have to have different interdependence. I have to depend on the chef to provide food to me, and then the chef may also be hope that I can the cook can. He or she can send their kids to school, and then to have the learning opportunities. And then these are the different functions in the society. Even though we have different job specifications, we have different divisions of labor, and then we have different functions, but somehow we have to interdependent with each other, okay, and then to make the society to be more consolidate, okay. And then the expansions of the divisions of labor may the expansions of divisions of labor make the people to find differences among themselves. Right now they stay together not because of the moral consensus, okay, without any ancestral hold, without any moral standard, but somehow it is based on the function or interdependence. I need their functions, and then they need my functions, and then we even though we are different, okay, and then but we can stay together in the society, and then to make the society corporate as a whole as well。咁呢度就講緊一個咧，就係工業革命之後咧，就係話成個社會入邊咧，開始咧就每個人已經唔係大家人人生活嘅作息一樣啊，或者個生活嘅一樣啊，咁變咗就係話緊嗰個喺個工業革命之後咧，就話所有嘅工業化嘅城市之後咧，就話每個人都有各盡其職嚟到去有個工作工種，咁變咗成個情況之下，就雖然大家唔係作息一樣，生活一樣，但係點解可以大家一齊共同喺個社會度生活？因為你需要我，我需要你啦。咁所以去到最後咧，我哋就可以一齊生活咗，一齊生活咗。因為點解我要你個功能，你要我個功能 ？OK， and then this is because of the people, we have different function, we have different divisions of labor, and then we have different job specification. I need his function, and then he or she need my functions. Okay, and at the end we can cooperate with each other. And then it's about after the industrializations, okay, the people stick together in the society because of organic solidarity based on the functions and responsibility. Each of us, okay, have its own job responsibility. Okay, we have the functions. Okay, we stay together instead of moral, instead of tradition, instead of we are living in the same village, we have the same habits. Okay, we have the same moral standard. Okay, and then it is about the organic solidarity. And then what is the risk of enemy? Okay, enemy is something without nominalness, because people have different functions. I am different from you, and then all of us are different. Okay, and then the people may wanted to have more freedom, less restraint from others. Okay, and then that in the industrial society, because people just stay together with organic solidarity. We are strangers. I may not want to trust you. You may not want to rely on me. Okay, and then somehow may make the society will become with a less conformity. 咁令到呢個 NOME 即係講緊個社會入邊咧係個失範啊！以前好多社會有好多規範，但係而家因為人人都唔同，我只不過功能性上面想同你起埋一齊，同你一齊生活，但係我唔可以完全信任一個嘅陌生人，所以令到社會上面失衡啊！呢個社會上面會失範啊 ，nominalness. Why? Because when we compare with the pre-industrial society, because every people think alike, work alike, behave alike, live alike, even though their moral standards are like, everything they have this disagreement, and then they will discuss. And then in the community, okay, they will discuss. For example, like the ancestry hall in the Asian Chinese society, okay. And then, but somehow in the industrial society, because people may not have the same level of consensus, or even though the tradition fading out, okay, people may not have this kind of strong belongings to where they live, okay, and then eventually there may be a risk of enemy, okay, nominalness, okay, without a very solid, a very clear guidelines in the society, and then no longer you can see that the norms are very concrete, okay, enemy, nominalness, okay, 社會上面失範 nominalness without any norms, okay, because the people they try to stick together with the function only, not from the tradition, not from the habits, okay. Anomy, there's a condition that the society provides very little guidance, okay, very little moral guidance to the individual. And then that actually happens in the modern society as well. And then you can see that in modern society, when we compare with the pre-industrial society, okay, you can see that that's why you see that in the modern society, the norm actually not very clear. Somehow they may have the risk of the normlessness, okay. 咁令人哋無所適從啦，就話俾你聽，就因為我哋已經即係變咗一個現代化嘅社會入邊，其實啲人即使佢哋起埋一齊都好，只不過係因為功能上面起埋一齊啊，我未必一定要聽晒你講，點解一定要係咁樣做？咁所以好多情況之下有五花八門嘅，有好多唔同嘅一啲嘅社會上面有已經開始有唔同嘅 pattern 啦。That's why when we compare with a modern society and then to the pre-industrial society, the modern society are more complex and more complicated. Not all the people will perform the same norms when we compare with the pre-industrial society. OK， 呢個明唔明先度？明唔明呢度？O 唔 OK 啊？會唔會太快？Is it too fast? Is it this time much better than the last time? 得唔得？呢度明唔明 ？Better. Okay, and then this approach is about Durkheim. What is the Durkheim? What is this is about this approach. Okay, everything in the society. Okay, there are so different social structures, and then the structure may carry out its own functions. Okay, and everyone can has its own role and function. And then when we cooperate, and then the society will be in harmony. Okay, and then that's why Durkheim, it is a structural functional approach always emphasize, okay, actually in a society that can operate in a harmony when everyone carry out their own functions, okay, and then that when the people interact with each other, okay, and then the society that will have a high level of stability, harmony, and also solidarity. Okay, this is about Durkheim in the structural functional approach. Okay, and then this is the reasons why this approach, the sociologists will try to investigate different structure. And then in the society, there are different structure, and then and also to investigate the functions inside the society. Okay, this is the characteristics of the structural functional approach. All about is about the society as a whole with the harmony, and everything that can carry out its own functions and role. Okay, and then you can see that from school, from family, from marriage, from government, and then from there are so many different structure. And then when each structure, okay, and then carry out its function, and then the people interact, okay, and then the whole society will operate as a whole, okay, and then even though we are different, okay, but the people will stay together because we understand we have the same high level of collective consciousness. 我哋喺個成個社會入邊咧，就會認知到咧，就係話有唔同嘅架構，即係唔同嘅入邊嘅structure 入邊有唔同嘅 function 嘅。當到每個 function 都能夠盡佢嘅職能去做嘅情況之下咧，啲人喺入邊咧，其實就會各盡其職嘅話咧，咁嗰個成個社會就會和諧噶啦，同埋成個社會就會運行得好好，咁亦都成個社會就會有一個好高嘅一個一致性喺度，咁呢個就係講緊Durkheim 講緊嘅社會，每個人都有個社會角色，有唔同嘅關係，有唔同角色，但係都會帶出佢嘅功能帶咗出嚟嘅情況之下咧，連個社會就會和諧嘅，呢個就係講緊嗰個 Durkheim 講緊嘅嘢。Okay. And then we also introduced there are two types of solidarity in the pre-industrial society and also the industrial society. Okay, and right now we are in a modern society, and then you can see that we stay together in the society, even though we are not going to fishing or we did not earn the living by fishery, by agriculture, or by we have different divisions of labor. And then why the people, even though we have different job responsibility, we have the different job specification, but why right now the people in the modern world, they can stay together, they can stay in the society, because we try to live together with the organic solidarity, because we try to rely on the other people, the other members in the society, their functions. Okay, and then everyone has his own function, and then we interact, and then we, even though we are independent, but we are interdependent. We have to rely on each other, and then make the society work, and then make the society operates like a whole one. 呢個就係講緊成個社會建基於我哋係唔同，雖然唔同，但係我哋能夠功能上互相依靠，互相去幫助，互相依靠，所以令到成個社會能夠功能上依靠嘅情況之下，因為我哋有唔同嘅角色，我哋有唔同嗰個嘅功能，所以令到我哋成班人可以埋一齊，就唔係用翻嗰個道德或者傳統上邊嘅相同咯。呢個就同嗰個舊式嘅社會入邊唔同嘅嘢。Okay, if you understand, okay 啊，我咪 OK 呢個 OK， 我開下一個。Okay, I recap the last lecture that about the Durkheim. Okay, right now I can start another approach. 得唔得呢度 ？OK， 明啊嘛？ Okay, and then right now I will start the social conflict approach. Okay, the social conflict approach. Okay, it emphasizes that this approach actually from a macro perspective to look into the society, and then it's about the society, and then this approach held different holds a different points of view about society. In in the structural functional approach, it mentioned about the society as a whole with harmony, right? And then social conflict approach, from the wording conflict, you can see that actually this approach did not share the same point of view as the social structural function approach. Okay, and then they see the society with inequality, and then inequality can generate conflict and change. Okay, and then also this approach rejects the idea that the social structure promotes the operation of society as a whole, because this approach always emphasizes that actually in a society there are so many struggles, so many inequalities inside the society, because in a society, this approach emphasizes that okay, there are two main types of classes that would make the society not in the equality, not with the equality. For example, like the bourgeoisie. This approach emphasized the idea of Marxism. Okay, and then it emphasized that in a society there are two main different classes. For example, like the managers or the bourgeoisie. 嗰啲叫做有嗰個特權嘅人啊，或者係佢哋係嗰啲嘅中產，或者係 capitalist 嗰啲係資本主義者。And then the other class will be the working class. Okay, when in a society there are the social classes in the society, they are opposite to each other, and then eventually they will cause inequality. And then if there is inequality, and then there will be conflict in the society. Okay, and then this approach, I always emphasize that in a society, not all the members, okay, actually are equals. Not all the social structure inside the society are equal. That's why they will cause inequality. When there is inequality, and then there will be conflict. Okay, and then you can also see that this approach, social conflict approach, emphasizes that some people may have more power than the other. Okay, and then that can make the society with inequality. Okay, and then you can see that this picture. What do you think? Is it in Hong Kong? What is it about? 呢張圖片係講緊啲乜嘢？ In Hong Kong, Hong Kong. What is the problem in Hong Kong? 有咩問題啊？呢個圖片入邊講緊咩？有咩問題啊 ？Poor, poverty. What kind of poverty? Children poverty, yes. Income disparity, yes. Low income group. And then you can see that and then why there this such kind of problem in Hong Kong? 點解有啲人會窮啊？點解又會有跨代貧窮？跨代貧窮，因為會有跨代貧窮。Why there is this kind of child poverty in Hong Kong? Why? But because under this approach, yep, good, very good. Because somehow, okay, by this approach, you can see that social conflict approach. That means, okay, there may be some people in the society, they may have more money, okay, more resources, okay, and then some may not have enough resources or enough money. Maybe they have even though the background are something different, already totally different, okay? And then that may cause this kind of child poverty, especially if this children was born in a poorer family, okay, poorer family. And then eventually they may, the kids will be suffer from poverty, okay? And then there may be different distributions of resources. Some people may, in their hands, may have more resources and some may not have enough resources or unequal distributions of resources, and then that may cause this kind of problem. Okay, and then from this approach, you can see that not all the people in the society actually they can be carry out the very harmonious and also equal. Equal pattern of life. Okay, and then let's see, the social conflict approach, they emphasize that the pattern of inequality in our everyday life, and this is unlike the what we just learned about in the structural functional approach. Okay, and then this approach emphasizes there are inequality in our everyday life, and then some sociologists use the approach to think, okay, how we can tackle this kind of inequality in our society, and then this type of sociologists, okay, in this approach, they will emphasize that only social change that can reduce the inequality. Unlike Durkheim, Durkheim emphasized that when all the people, okay, and they perform well, and then they interdependence, and then they cooperate with each other, and then with the harmony, and then with the equilibrium, and then as a whole, okay, and then that can solve the problem in the society. But this approach, they emphasize that only social change that can ease the inequality, because from day one, okay, you can see that in a society there are different power blocks, okay, they may have different viewpoints, and also they may have different stand, and then they have the different point of view, and then they will have different oppositions against each other. That's why in the society, the equality that cannot be easily be achieved. Only social change that can make the society works better. Okay, and then let's see what it's about. And then this approach, social conflict approach, actually actually from Karl Marx model. And then Karl Marx always, because you see that Karl Marx actually is from Marxism, 呢個馬克思主義嘅代表者啦，呢個係 Karl Marx 啦 ，okay. And then he emphasized that actually all the problem, all the fundamental reasons for in the society, the problem actually come from the economic determination. That means, okay, he did not support the idea of capitalism. He always emphasized that capitalism is something not good to society. Okay, and then Marx emphasizes that the importance of socialism. That means, okay, if the whole society, actually the capitalism can be replaced by socialism, every productions of the products actually will go back to the needs of the mass, to the needs of the people in the society, not from the total capitalists. And then the society will have less power struggle between the capitalist and then to the workers。喺 Marxism 入邊咧就好着重翻入邊就睇翻佢唔會贊成資本主義㗎，佢係講奉行緊社會主義㗎。所有社會上面生產嘅嘢咧，其實應該歸翻於大眾，就唔係落翻於係去到嗰個資本主義嘅主義者嘅手上。And then Marxist always emphasized that he opposed the idea of capitalism because all the resources actually will be go to the hands of the capitalists. More money they get, more resources they have, more power they say in the government as well. That's why for the Marxists, he emphasized that for the production, the means of the production, and then should go back to the hands of the people, the workers, in their hands, and also all the needs, should not be the needs of the mass, the needs of the people should be catered, should be taken care by the government, not only in the hands of the people with money, with the people of the capitalists. That's why unless there was a big social change, to get rid of the capitalism, get rid of the capitalist system, and then all the people will be fair. This is something the Marxists, the Karl Marx, what they emphasize, and then economy as a social institution, but also dominate the other institution, because when there is a capitalist society, and then more money goes to the capitalists, and then the capitalists will have more power and dominates also the government as well. And then this is the reasons why Karl Marx tried to get rid of, to get rid of the capitalist system, to replace by a socialist system. Everyone with an equal distribution of resources, every people will have the fair and then equal distributions of the wages and also the resources. And then he always emphasized that the human being produce the goods actually just benefit the capitalists, and then very little of resources would go back to the hands of the workers. 呢個咧就講緊就係話馬克思主義就係不停喺度講緊就係話佢係唔着重翻，唔支持嗰個資本主義嘅。所有資本主義嘅就當咗啲工人好辛苦翻工，全部嘅錢就去翻晒落嗰啲資本主義嘅人度或者中產人度嗰度啦 ，managers 啦，咁變咗嗰啲工人咧只係攞到好少錢啦，攞少嘅 resources， 咁令到有錢又繼續有錢，冇錢又繼續冇錢。And then this is the reasons why the Marxists always emphasize that unless there was a big change, there was a big social change. The workers, they try to stage the revolution, to stage the class struggle against the capitalists. And then to get rid of the class of capitalists, and then also get rid of the capitalists, capitalism, and then at the end the workers will get freedom and also get the equality in the society。咁呢個就講緊 Marxist 咧，就不停講緊一樣嘢，就係話你唔去推翻咗嗰個嘅資本主義嘅話咧，又奉行新社會主義嘅話咧，其實咧就好難會有嗰個有一個嘅公平，因為所有嘅成個社會入邊係由個唔同嘅階級，啲階級其實對立㗎，啲階級係對立嘅，啲對立有對立面嘅情況之下咧，就會有不公平嘅不公平嘅不公平嘅情況。咁呢個就係講緊 Marxist 所講緊嘢。And then Marxist, how Marxist saw the society. Marxist always saw the society Please wait because disconnections again. I have to share screen again. Yes, I know disconnected because it happened a couple of times today. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, right now you can yes, disconnected because this morning I tried to operate. I came back earlier this morning, but I tried to switch on the Zoom a couple of times because disconnected. But today I think that there was this morning there was a technical problem. I think there may be a technical issue as well. 好，繼續。Okay, and then in the Marxist, okay, and then oops. Okay, in the Marxist, okay, and then let's see what is about the social conflicts, okay, because from day one, okay, from very beginning, Karl Marx overemphasized that actually in a society, and then the people did not live with a harmonious relationship, because even though we are living in a society, the classes actually are opposing with each other. And then the most obvious class would be about the workers, and then about proletarian, 無產階級, proletarian, the people are without any resources, they are the workers, okay. And then the capitalists, okay, capitalists, the middle class, that means they are the managers, they are the capitalists or bourgeoisie, 中產, middle class, that means in French, the terms known as bourgeoisie, middle class, capitalists. People have more money, resources, they can control the workers, okay? And then the typical social conflict will be about the class conflict between the capitalists and then the proletariat. That means this is the middle class or managers, capitalists, but against the proletarians. That means the workers, okay? Okay, then the capitalists, the middle class, okay, the people who own and operate the factories, they own the factories, and then all the money, and then all the resources, they will be controlled by the capitalists, the bourgeoisie, and then actually they ask the workers to work for them, and then all the profit that would go to the pocket of the bourgeoisie or the capitalists, okay, and then what the workers can gain could only a tiny amount of wages, okay, and then for their contributions, but at the end, all the profits, the fruits of the productivity will go into the go into the capitalists, okay, and then the workers, who are the people who have to contribute their labor. They're hardworking, and then for the wages, okay. The conflict produced in the conflict in this sense, the conflict will be very obvious between the capitalists and then with the workers, okay, in this kind of capitalist productions, okay, and then all the profit actually and then will go into the pocket of the capitalists, okay, and then what the workers can gain very little in under the capitalist society, capitalist system. That is the reasons why Karl Marx said that the root problem in the society actually came from the economic institution, 成個經濟嘅制度. That is the reasons why Karl Marx wanted to have a revolution, and then to get rid of the capitalist economy, and then to replace by a socialist system, and then everyone, they work for the society, and every products or every profit, okay, and then gain from the production will go back to the society, go back to the people, the mass people in the society, and then every people can share by the equal distributions of resources, and then this is what the Marxists always emphasized. Okay, 即係所有嘢就係話翻俾你聽。所有嘢就係話翻俾你聽，就係話會有嗰個社會上面有鬥爭，因為個階級入邊嘅鬥爭 class struggle， 因為嚟自本身由嗰個社會嘅階層已經係對立嘅情況之下啦，咁變咗所有係唔會能夠有 harmony 嘅，一定會由首先嘅所有嘅問題嘅基礎嘅來源都嚟自嗰個社會嘅嗰個成個社會入邊咁多問題嚟自個經濟嗰個嘅制度。如果個經濟嘅制度能夠改變咗，唔係一個資本主義嘅話咧，咁令到成個社會就會就會多啲嘅公平性喺度。Okay, in capitalism, the capitalists control all over and even though they exploit the workers, because as usual, they set up this factory and then ask the workers to work from morning to night, okay, and then give the very little benefits to the workers, okay, and then also all the products they sold out, okay, eventually after the production, all the products sold out, and then the money would go back to the pocket of the capitalists, okay, and then what the workers can enjoy is only the wages, the tiny amount of wages, not the fruits of the productivity. And then also they emphasize that, Karl Marx also emphasized that, and then the workers are dehumanized, okay, because they just like working like a whole robot, okay, without regardless their human potential. And then this is the Karl Marx always emphasized, okay, with little satisfaction, because every workers, they work alike. Every worker, they just work from morning to night with the same job within a very tiny space, and then to work as a robot, okay, and then they may feel the workers may feel alienated, and also they had very little satisfaction, and then they just go to the work every day and then to do the same thing without promotions, without training, without developing their own unique potentials, okay, and then that make the workers they dehumanized, okay， 令到佢哋冇咗嗰個自己獨特性，冇咗嗰個人格化。呢個就係講緊就係話阿卡馬克斯講緊就係工廠返工入邊咧點樣令到啲人越嚟越冇價值啊。Okay, and then they make the people feel less value. Okay, it's about Karl Marx always condemn about the capitalism. Okay, let's see a video clip. 睇一個片啊，等一陣啊 ，please wait。係啊，等一陣啊。好，等陣先，我要 share 俾你睇先啦 ，share screen。Okay, this one. Okay, this is a movie about Charlie Chaplin. Okay, it's about the life of the workers. 你睇唔睇到啊？呢個見唔見到個畫面係有一個YouTube 睇唔睇到啊 ？Yes, YouTube. Okay, you can see that. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay, it's about in the 1920s. It's about Charlie Chaplin. It mentioned about the work life, the working conditions, and even though how the workers work like a robot. Okay.
Attention foreman. Double on bench 5. Check on the nut tightness. Nuts coming through loose on bench 5. Attention foreman.
Can you hear the video? Repeat and repeat, work like a robot. Okay, and then also exploited by the supervisor. Okay, like a robot. Okay, that's all. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. 睇唔睇到個 PowerPoint? Can you see the PowerPoint? Can you see the PowerPoint? Okay, good. And then this is the reasons why the Karl Marx in you can see that in the past old days. Okay, when the people, when the workers actually work in a factory, they work like a robot. Okay, and then because at that time the people with very little education level, okay, very little education opportunity, and then they may not have very much professional skills, and then that's why they when they start the work in the factory, and then what they can do is just contribute their labor, okay, and then to work something very simple, and then in the factory, and then all the workers were divided with the different job specifications, and then they every day they did not have a very skillful technique, and then just repeat and repeat and repeat, did the same things, okay. And then this is the reasons why in the Karl Marx, okay, he emphasized that actually under the capitalism, all the workers were assigned to do the same things, okay. And then the work that make the people, the value of the people very lower, okay. And then this is what the Karl Marx always opposed about capitalism. Okay, and then in the capitalist, and then what Karl Marx always also what he emphasizes, capitalism alienated the workers in 4 different ways. For example, they alienated the act of working, because they everyday work like a robot, okay, and then they make the people alienated from the products of work, because every workers, they just assigned to a part of the in a food in a assembly line, okay, and then each worker is just assigned to work part of the work, and then they did not know the overall the productions of the product, and then they just know very little. Even though they work for many years, they cannot. This kind of workers cannot have any chance to know how about the operation, the management, about the assembly line, because of every workers, they just assigned to work a tiny part every day, just repeat and repeat to do the tiny part. That's why even though you work for many years, okay, they are alienated from the products of the work, okay. And then alienation from other workers, because you can say that from the workers, they are assigned to work in a particular space, okay, and then you cannot go. The worker cannot have cannot meet other workers, even though you work in assembly line for many years, or even though you work in the same factory for many years, you cannot have the chance to have many different cooperation. For example, in you can see that from the workers, because they just work on some particular job specifications, and then they may not have the know-how they did not have the know-how to work to replace the other workers. That's why they are alienated from other workers. They did not know each other, and then they have a very tiny space, and then to restrict to work there, okay, from morning to night, standing in a particular point, and then to did and then to do the same jobs repeatedly, and then they are alienated from other workers. They did not have the chance to meet other people, and then also the alienation from the human potential. Even though you are working on this as just like a robot, and then what your strengths and what your uniqueness could not be easily developed by your boss, and then no more further training according to your personal uniqueness or personal characteristics, and then that make the capitalism that make the Karl Marx mixing that the capitalism may alienate the workers from the human potential as well. And then these are the 4 main ways that capitalism try to that may do something harmful to the workers. And then these are the downsides that the Karl Marx emphasized about capitalism. 咁就講真啦，就係講緊日日都翻埋同一份工，就喺一個好狹窄嘅位置度做嘢，咁變咗好多情況之下，你個人嘅潛能啦，你又被忽略啦，你又識唔到其他嘅同事啦，同埋做來做去就做嗰 part 好細 part 嘅工作，令到咧嗰個嘅工作入邊嚟講，你唔可以全面去做啊。咁變咗即使做咗10年、20年都好，可能你淨係做嗰 part，你都唔知道原來成個嘅生產線係點樣做，或者佢有個能力去管理個生產線啦。Okay, and then this is about the downside of capitalism. As I said, it is very sad because you are assigned as a worker, and then you work from morning to night, and everything's the same thing, and then eventually you did not have a very clear overview about the management of the assembly line, even though the operation of a whole factory, because you are just a tiny potato, small potato in the assembly line. Okay, even though you work for 10 years, 15 years, okay, because you just work in an assigned part and also a tiny part, okay, and then you don't have specialized skills, and then even though you change to another factory, okay, you cannot carry your skills, or you cannot base on what you just worked for your previous factory to another factory to enhance your skills, and then for a better promotions, okay. And then this about the alienations of alienation from the products of work, okay. OK， 明唔明呢度得唔得？明唔明？明唔明？得唔得呢度？會唔會太快？ O 唔 OK？ 會唔會好啲 ？Very clear. Is it OK for you? How about the rest of the students? 有冇問題啊？上次講話講嘢好掠嗰啲同學今次會唔會好啲啊？ Last time, some of you said that I was too fast, and then you wanted to have a clearer elaboration. A bit better, a bit better, a bit. Okay. Okay, and then Karl Marx, and let's see the society and conflict. And then you may see that you will ask, okay, why and how the capitalists justify their control exploitation? Because they set up the factory, and then they held all the control against the control over the workers. Again, you may ask, okay, well, how the capitalists try to justify their behavior, and then. And then you may say that you may think that okay, why at that time the workers would try to follow the instructions of the capitalists, because Karl Marx emphasized that actually the capitalists try to have the false consciousness 一啲係錯誤嘅一啲嘅意識。False consciousness, and then people may think because the capitalists always emphasize that, okay, emphasize and also tell the capitalists, also always tell the workers, because they are poor educated, even though the workers they have very little, or even though they have no education background, very little education, and then the capitalists try to have to impose their mindset that this is about the false consciousness about. They explained that because they were poor, they came from poor background, they are poor educated, and then the capitalists are smarter, they are well educated, and then they can have the rights to control over the workers. Okay, they always emphasize this kind of false consciousness, and then to let the workers to believe that they are inferior, and then they are less competent than the capitalists, and then that's why they were assigned it to be ruled by the capitalists, and then this is the reasons why. This is the reasons why the workers will believe that okay, they will legitimize the capitalists. They have the rights, they have the power, and then they have the control over the workers. And then this is about the false consciousness. They explain the social problems, okay, and then the shortcomings of the individuals rather than the force of the society. This is all that the capitalists always emphasized. 咁呢個咧就係講緊啦，就係嗰啲 capitalists 啦，成日都會用一啲叫做 false consciousness 啦嚟到去欺控嗰啲嘅 workers 嘅，因為嗰啲 workers 咧佢哋就係嚟自一啲即係嗰啲比較低層啦，或者冇嗰個教育程度嘅，佢就話俾你聽啊，因為你讀得書少，亦都因為你冇咁勤力啦，讀得書少你冇咁叻啦，所以好多情況之下咧，就由嗰個資本主義者咧，資本主義家咧就能夠可以去控制翻，由佢哋去分配。咁呢個就係講緊嗰個false consciousness. It is about the false consciousness because they always justify their legitimize their actions, because they legitimize their behavior, because they say that they are more educated, they are more competent, smarter. They are more competent. They are better and well educated. That's why they could have the rights to control and then also to distribute the resources. This is about the false consciousness. They impose this kind of false consciousness to the workers. Okay, and then that make the capitalists justified themselves to be the ruler in the society. And then that is the reasons why Karl Marx, okay, emphasize that, okay, revolution is a must, only way to get rid of, to set the workers free, and then to get rid of this kind of unequal distributions of resources, okay? And then the false consciousness must be replaced by class consciousness. That means the Karl Marx emphasize that only when the working class, okay, they can share the same consciousness, they have same meaning, same consensus against, okay, they must be strong, they must united to each other, to united as the working class united to against the capitalists. This is the only way that can set them free. Okay, that means the workers, they have to recognize themselves, that they must unify themselves to have the oppositions against the capitalists. This is the only way they can set themselves free. And then workers, they may aware their rights, aware they are under the oppressions. Okay, only the class struggle get rid of the capitalism, get rid of the capitalists, they can set themselves free, and then also to solve all the problems in the society. And then this is the Karl Marx always emphasizes only the revolution, only the class struggle that can help all the workers, okay, the people underprivileged, okay, to set themselves free from the capitalism, okay. And then the system of production that can go back to the hands of the workers, okay, and then no longer the products of the production will go back to the capitalists, okay. This is something Karl Marx always emphasized. 咁呢個 Karl Marx 咧就不停講緊咧，就係話只會有嗰個革命，同埋只會有嗰個嘅權力鬥爭啊，即係個階級鬥爭，由嗰班工人能夠取締嗰班中產嘅人咧，先至可以令到成個社會能夠公平，同埋只係唯有將到嗰個資本主義能夠可以由被嗰個社會主義取締咗嘅情況之下咧，人人要公平。所有嘅社會嘅資源先至可以重新被分配，呢個就係講緊呢個就 socialism 就話要取締咗資本主義，先至可以令到成個社會係好咯，即係成個社會係有嗰個平衡嘅。Okay, and then this about the Karl Marx, something about Karl Marx, okay. And then you can see that from this social conflict approach, you can see that this approach always emphasizes there's a conflict between the classes, inequality, only with the struggle, only with the revolution that can make the society back to equality, okay. And then this is something very different from the functional structural functionalist approach, okay. Okay, and then 有冇問題啊？關於呢個 Karl Marx? Any questions about Karl Marx? This is about social conflict approach. Any questions? Any questions? 有冇問題啊？呢個有冇問題 ？No questions. Lorraine 呢 ？Lorraine 有冇問題啊 ？How about Lorraine 咧？有冇問題啊？ Okay, if no question, because I will stop 10 minutes here. I will give a break 10 minutes, and then I will continue the third approach. This is about symbolic. Okay, I will take 10 minutes break. Okay, I'll take 10 minutes break. Hello. Okay, right now I will start the third approach. Okay, any questions about the first? The structural functional approach and then also the social conflict approach. Any more questions about these two approaches? 有冇問題啊？嗰兩個 approaches 有冇問題啊？ Any questions about the first two approaches? 都明係咪啊？都明，都 OK 係咪？暫時冇 OK。And then let's start the third one. The third one will be the most difficult one. Okay, the third one. Okay, and then the third one is about symbolic interaction approach. Okay, you can realize that the first two approaches, the structural functional or the social conflict. Okay, these two approaches actually emphasize in the macro way. Okay, and the two approaches. The previous two approaches emphasize the investigations about the macro environment, in the macro level, okay? And then symbolic interaction approach, they take another interesting way, okay? They try to sociologists under this approach, they try to investigate about the society in a micro approach. That means, okay, they investigate about the people interactions, the people relationship, okay? And then this approach, symbolic interaction approach, try to see the society as a product of everyday interactions of individuals. Okay, they investigate about the individual and their interaction and their relationship. Okay, different from looking at the society from a macro perspective, not just looking at just like Karl Marx, like looking at the macro level in economic institution, economic system, and then the structure and functionalist approach looking at disconnected. Let me disconnect a couple of times today. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, you see the share screen, right? 睇到個 share screen 啊嘛，係咪？睇到個 share screen. Just got disconnection. Okay, sorry. Okay, good. And then you can see that this approach, symbolic interaction approach, try to this sociologist, okay, sociologist tries to take into the very close investigations about the micro level orientation and to see how the people react, okay, in our everyday life, okay, in our everyday life, and also explain the patterns, explain the pattern. Okay, and then you can see that this approach try to explain that every day we can see that there are so many symbols in our society, and that it is something that the people, the human beings, okay, they try to interpret the meaning and then make the meaning in the reality. And then the society is nothing more than the shared reality that the people construct as they interact. The people interact, okay, and then the people tries to interpret some meaning, some symbols with the meanings, and then to make it as a to make it become some virtual things, okay. And then this symbolic interactions approach try to interpret all the meanings, all the symbols with the meanings in the society. And then I will use an examples. Okay, then you can see that the meanings, the symbols, actually it changes from time to time. You can see that in this approach, the sociologists try to explain in the everyday life. Okay, the everyday in the reality, actually it changed not from a rigid rigid meaning, but somehow it all depends the change of how the people see the things. Okay, I use an example. For example, like in the past, okay, as usual, when you see someone in on the street, or when you see someone in the school or on the street or in an office, okay, you will shake hands, and then you shake hands at something that means a polite or something welcome gesture, right? But during the COVID-19, okay, this kind of share meanings, okay, shake hands no longer used. People just because of the health concern, okay, they just wanted to using their elbow and then to say hi, and then clicking the elbow with each other, okay, and then that you can see that this kind of symbols, they change the meaning, okay. And then the symbolic interaction approach, they emphasize that the society actually in the society there's many shared meaning, many shared symbols, and then these symbols we have the meanings, okay, and then to that our society composed of this kind of reality, the shared reality, and then how the people interact, and then how the people translate this kind of meaning or encode this kind of meaning, and then make the society will have different norms or different behavior. And that this approach try to investigate to look into how this kind of symbol, what What does it mean? And then somehow from time to time, when people have different point of view, that people have different interpretation, this kind of reality will change. Okay, and then this is the reality simply to show that under this approach, we can simply understand how we define the meaning, but define the symbols in around us, and then eventually we can construct this kind of meaning from time to time. Okay, and then that means, okay, under this approach, okay, the reality of the society that may change from the people uphold different point of view, different interpretations. 呢個咧就係講緊 symbolic 嗰個symbolic 嘅 interaction approach， 講緊人同人之間不住喺度嘅交往入邊啦，會令到嗰個成個社會上面，其實社會上充滿咗有好多嘅唔同嘅symbols 㗎。啲 symbol 究竟你點樣俾嗰個 meaning 俾佢咧，就形成嗰個社會入邊大家共同嘅享有嘅文化或者享有嘅一啲嘅共同嘅一啲嘅價值啦。咁但係呢個 symbolic interaction approach 就話俾你聽，由唔同嘅時間，佢嘅人同人之間嘅相處嗰個 interpretation 唔同嘅情況之下咧，嗰個存在嘅價值、存在嘅意義都會唔同啊！所以呢個 approach 就到睇緊人同人之間嘅相處，人同人之間嗰個嘅唔同嘅對唔同時間、唔同嘅地方、唔同嘅時間嘅睇法唔同嘅情況之下，個成個社會入邊你見到嘅嘢都會有唔同咯。呢個就講緊 symbolic interaction approach。As I said, this symbolic interaction approach, actually, the sociology try to investigate about the different patterns or different norms or the different symbols. That symbols with attached meaning that can construct in our society with construct our society with reality. Okay, but somehow when the people they change their mindset, the people when they change their point of view, and then they will impose the different meaning on the symbols, and then you can see that this approach actually different from the past two one. The past two one just from a macro perspective, okay, to understand what is the society, and then this one from a micro perspective to understand how the people interact, how the people construct the meaning on the symbols, and how the people try to interpret the symbols with meaning, okay, and then to make the society in the reality. OK， 咁咧呢個咧就會講緊 that is the reasons why we can understand that we have to understand under this approach how the people interact and then to give the meanings to the symbols。咁所以我頭先我用咗嗰個握手做嗰個例子啦。咁握手嗰個例子就係話翻俾你聽，就係話翻俾你聽嗰個 meaning 啊，人同人之間相處入邊啦，嗰個社會上邊可能共識咗嘅一啲嘅意思，其實會轉變嘅。頭先我舉咗個例子就係話，如果好似係握手，以前見到人喺街度、喺學校度或者原來喺間公司度見到人哋會握手係一個好友善嘅意思，但係友善嘅代表，但係而家喺嗰個疫情入邊，我哋可能就咁用個手踭去碰一碰對方，就當咗係握手，當咗一個 greeting。咁點解會咁樣變化法？就係話因為嗰個成個環境唔同咗，大家對於咩叫做歡迎嗰個或者代表係一個 greeting 嗰個形態唔同咗，所以咧就會變到嗰個 meaning 都唔同咗。所以 that is the reasons why I use shake hands, okay, and then before COVID-19 and after COVID-19, something different. In the past, when we see people, we have to shake hands, and then that means we have the warm greeting, warm greeting with the people you just meet. Okay, but right now after the COVID-19, where people just touching their elbow, okay, and then it's already good enough to show your gratitude, to show your warm reception to the people you meet. Okay, and then this kind of changes. Okay, you can see that the meaning, the symbols with the meaning change, okay, according to the time being, or according to the people, how they think, how they react, and how they interpret the symbols, okay, and then this is about symbolic interaction approach. 呢個明唔明頭先我講呢3點先？明唔明呢度？明唔明？係咪好複雜啊？明唔明啊？呢度？喂，聽唔聽到我講嘢㗎？ Can you hear me? Hello? Disconnect 唔係啊 ？OK, good. Can understand? Is still OK 啊？呢個 OK。Loring 啦 ，Loring Loring 明唔明 How about Loring? Okay, good. Okay, you understand. Okay, good. And then that is the symbolic interaction approach, quite different from the first two one. The first two one, you can see that from a macro perspective. For the first one, structural functional, okay, and then we look at into the different structure. Okay, and then how about the structure inside the structure? There are so many functions. Okay, as a whole, we can from a macro, from the Karl Marx one, social conflict. You can see that the class struggle, class. Okay, and then all the problem actually came from the economic institutions, about the economic system, because the society they adopt the capitalism, and then the capitalism will make the because of the means of the production, because of the existence of the capitalism, and then to make the two classes that have a class struggle, and then all the thing will be in the situation of inequality, and then that's why the people have to turn over to get rid of the capitalism, get rid of the class of capitalists, and then we have to change from the false consciousness and then to the class consciousness. Okay, and then it's all about macro level, and then this one, okay, and then it's about how in the society we can see that how the people interact, and then how the society they have the shared the value, shared pattern, shared norm, all these kind of things. Okay, actually that can be changed when the people they interact, when the people they have different interpretation from time to time, and then the meaning in the society will change. Okay, and then this is about symbolic interaction approach. And then the symbolic, and then I will introduce a sociologist called Max Weber. And then he tried to explain why this kind of approach exists. Okay, and then the first one, the idea is idealism, 唯心論. From the world view, from the people, the world view, how they see the world, and how they think, how they feel. Okay, and then that explain why the meaning of the society changed. Okay, it all depends of the how people interact, how the people see the world, how the people they shape the values and then shape the society. And then he looked when the modern world different from the earlier types of society, because in the modern society was a product of new way of thinking. I just use an example. And then Max Weber will always emphasize that, okay, under this approach, they may say that the value, the idea, or the shared reality may change when the people, from time to time, from the time being, okay, they change their mindset to look at the world. When the world will from the human being change, okay, and then this kind of meaning changed, okay, and then I use an example in okay, I use smoking as an example in 1930, 1940. Okay, and then the people are quite labor intensive, and then the people as usual as usual they are male. Went out to work, and then the female stay at home for housework. Okay, and then in the 1920s, 30 or 1920s to 40s. Okay, and then the men are quite masculine, and then they may think about smoking a very what at that time was very masculine. What it is the meaning of a free lifestyle, and it is very very powerful smoking. And then you see that men after work they want they like it to when they after the work, and then especially if you look at have you ever watched the Marlboro advertisement, Marlboro cowboy in America? And then you can see that in America, 我俾你哋睇睇，以前萬寶路嘅時代，I use Marlboro as an example. Let me take. Give me a couple of minutes. Marlboro advertisement, cowboy. Let's see. Okay, I use this one. Marlboro cowboy. Okay. Okay, this guy. Marlboro. we can see that okay, in the past, okay, maybe in 15 years or last century, okay, I use American cowboy as an example. The cowboys, okay, they stand from actually this idea came from America, okay, and then you can see that the cowboy life, okay, every day after the very hard a long day of hard work, okay, and then the men, okay, they may have to take a very high risk to have to overcome many problems in their daily life to earn a living, and then they will have to have a smoke of cigarette, and then to have a more to relieve their stress, okay, and then the men, they as usual, they will rest together and then to have the cigarette like this, okay. And then in the past, cowboy, Marlboro, refers to freedom, refers to men, refers to achievement, refers to adventures, okay. After a long day of work, and then they can enjoy a period of a peaceful mind, okay, and then they will have the cigarette like this, okay. And then at that time it is trendy, and then it is at that time they represent freedom, represent masculine, represents successful, represent fresh, okay. But nowadays, in these recent decades, okay, and then you can see that smoking no longer share this kind of meaning, and then the people may think about smoking actually is hazardous to health, and then smoking, and then the chemical in the cigarette that can cause cancer, that can cause many disease, okay. And then as usual, even though the government tried to ban already banned the cigarette smoking in public area and in the indoor area as well, and then in restaurant, pubs, and then all banned. And then even though there are so many people, they no longer support for smoking, because they think that smoking is no longer trendy, is no longer fashionable. Somehow you have to quit the smoking, okay. And then you can see that from time to time, okay, people have different interpretation, different meaning again on the smoking, okay. It changed, okay. And then what Weber emphasized, okay, you can see that modern society actually they have the new way of thinking, they have the different interpretation that can make this that can make the meaning changed, okay. And then no longer exist, no longer will be the same meaning in the from time to time. And then I always emphasize that Weber always emphasize that even though, okay, this kind of change, they may take a long period of time for the negotiation. Just for example, like smoking. In the past, okay, like the 15 years ago was in the 40s or 50s or even the 60s, okay, many people liked smoking. And then eventually how the society, in the current society, we have a different point of view against different point of view on smoking, because the government adopted the regulations to ban the smoking, right? And then also they involved many lobbying with the consumer who like smoking, and then with the lobbying with the tobacco company, okay, because you ban the cigarette, okay, the tobacco company would have take actions against this kind of regulations, okay. And then also some other NGOs or some other pressure groups or some other health organizations, okay, there are so many lobbying against this anti-smoking actions, okay. And then this is what Weber wanted to emphasize, okay, even though in the modern world, okay, and then the meaning in the society may change, but somehow this kind of change may involve long period of negotiation, and then the negotiation will involve many different parties in the society, and then that can make the change happen. 咁呢個就講緊咧，就係話，嗰個唯心論啦，就講翻俾你聽咧。Weber 就話翻俾你聽，就係話呢個對個社會嘅睇法，其實來自個內心，來自個世界觀，嚟到當你個世界人嘅世界觀改變嘅情況之下，你嘅心嘅想法唔同咗嘅情況之下咧，嗰個點樣去睇個社會，點樣睇個社會入邊發生緊嘅嘢，嗰個 interaction 都會唔同啦。咁我就用咗嗰個肉食煙仔嚟到做一個例子啦，就係話食煙仔嘅情況之下咧，就男人以前 cowboy 或者做工廠嗰啲男人全部出去工作，女人喺屋企噶嘛。咁好多一班人做完工作之後咧，就要食煙，就覺得食煙好型啊，食煙咧係一個好自由啊、好奔放啊、好男性化、好 好成功啊，同埋一個哇好，尤其是萬寶路嗰個廣告入邊。係 cowboy 更加覺得話俾你聽好英勇嘅行為，但係近呢10零20年咧就話俾你聽，食煙已經個人嘅睇法對成個社會嘅睇法對食煙唔同咗啊！咁亦都對食煙就話俾你聽，喂有影響健康啊、冇益啊，亦都係亦都唔係時尚，亦都唔係好型嘅嘢嚟㗎。咁變咗所以咧，咁呢個轉變嘅睇法咧就會睇得到，原來經過時間嘅轉變嘅情況之下咧，人對於嗰啲嘅事件呢啲叫做 symbol 所以嘢，係個睇法唔同咗嘅情況之下，個想法個賦予嘅意思都唔同咗嘅情況之下，到嗰件事都唔同咗㗎啦。咁但係呢啲咁樣嘅改變嘅話，要通常都會喺個 Weber 咁講咧，就話要用好長嘅時間嘅游說，又唔係呢啲游說入邊咧，都會經過好多嘅唔同嘅parties 嘅，先至可以做到啲人對呢樣嘢去改觀嘅。Okay, and then also Weber, for use smoking. An example, so as an example, and then this kind of change the mindset, change the worldview, change the mindset, change what you think, how the people think, and then the worldview, and then they will take a long, this kind of change, take a long period of negotiation, and then this kind of long negotiation may involve many parties in the society, and then to make this kind of change, and then this kind of change in negotiation, this kind of negotiation actually very complicated, and then it's also involve the power relations. That means, for example, the government take the lead, and then the government have a higher power, to have the authority, and tend to impose the regulation against the ban of the cigarette. And then this kind of negotiation involve power negotiation. Power negotiation, that means the one who insert more power and then can impose the change to the people with lesser power. And then you can see that. 咁咧呢個咧就係講緊，如果你有呢啲嘅改變嘅 Weber 就話呢啲改變咧嘅當然人嘅想法咁樣去改變唯心論嚇，咁樣去改變嘅情況之下，會涉及嘅一個好長嘅游說，而個游說入邊咧都會要涉及好多唔同嘅持份者，你先可以做得到。而通常要涉及嘅持份者嗰個嘅過程都係非常之複雜，同埋我頭先講咗嘅就會牽涉到一個叫 power relations 嘅，即係嗰個邊個權力大啲嚟到去推行嘅情況之下咧，就會有嗰個 negotiation。如果由政府去推行落嚟嘅，政府多啲權係大啲嘅，咁令到就會推到出嚟咯。有個 power negotiation 由政府推出嚟嘅情況之下，就會有嗰個大家會有一個權力上面啊，個權力上面由嗰個權力有大權力嘅人去推落去嘅情況之下咧，會有個 power relation。咁邊個細權力啲嘅咪要聽從，因為個大權力嗰個係去執行嘅一樣嘢啊嘛，你明唔明啊？Okay, what I want to say is, the process of negotiation is complicated. As usual, they will involve the hierarchy, involve the power relation. The one who has higher power will have a more authority, and then impose to the people with a lower power, and then that can make the change. Otherwise, the people may not follow because we have a lower power, lower say, and then you have to follow the instruction from the higher power. 咁呢個就係講緊喺一個嘅 negotiation 入邊，一定係由嗰啲由一啲係比較高，我哋會有嗰個會有個 hierarchy 喺度啦。邊個係嗰個屬於係有大權力啲嘅去執行嘅情況之下，嗰啲冇乜譬如普通煙民嘅，咁佢咪會細啲嘅權力或者細啲嘅bargaining power， 佢咪要聽咯，你明唔明？譬如政府一話要禁煙嘅，如果喺戶外食煙或者室內食煙嘅，喺室內食煙嘅話，你就要罰錢嘅。咁變咗一個係一個 power relations， 就係話由高嗰個 power 去執行嘅情況之下，啲權力低啲嘅人就要聽咯，所以先可以嚟到佢可以有嗰個又可以做成多個 negotiation 咯。And then what I want to say is that negotiation that will involve that will complicated process, and then as usual with the people with more power, more hierarchy, more authority that can lead the change, and then the other stakeholders with the lower power, with a lesser bargaining power, and then to follow suit. And then it's about the negotiation. 明唔明呢度得唔得？明唔明呢度唯心論？明唔明 ？OK 啊？ Okay, and then let's explain. Okay, in the pre-industrial society, let's see what the people how they think about the society. Okay, and then people are governed by the traditions. Okay, and the tradition value belief passed by generation to generation, and then from the ancestor to pass to the and then to the generation to generations. Okay, and then the people with lesser education. Okay, and then all the values, all the meaning, all the symbol actually came from the ancestors. Okay, and that is a pre-industrial society. 咁以前嘅社會入邊咧，所有嘅呢啲嘅成個社會上面見到嘅 symbol， 其實都係由傳統話俾我哋聽嘅，傳統話俾我哋聽嘅。咁同埋嗰個由一代傳一代，一代傳一代咁樣傳咗出嚟嘅。Okay, for example, like I use why? Okay, I use Mid Autumn Festival. Okay, and then in the past, why people celebrate in China? Okay, in Chinese society, why the people they will believe that there is a moon lady, 嫦娥. Okay, in the moon. Okay, and then right now, okay, in the modern society, people already with a better education, and then they will trust in the scientific way rather than just listen to the ancestor what they pass by. Okay. 咁呢個就 modern society 啦。Okay, in the industrial society, because of the development of capitalism, and then also the people emphasize the use of science, use of technology. Okay, and then the modern society is more rationalized. Actually, something different from the past. Okay, in the past, okay, the people just believe in the myth. And also from what the ancestor told. Okay, and then after the industrialization, and then people more emphasize the importance of scientific research, and then also the scientific way of living. Okay, and then the people change their mindset. Okay, I use an example. And then you can see that why the modern society become disenchanted, 少啲迷信啊 ，disenchanted 同埋唔會即係。唔信咁多神話嘅嘢 disenchanted, that means less believe in myth, less believe in legendary. Okay, and then people become more scientific and then rationalized. Okay, this is about disenchanted. Okay, I use an example like in the past. Okay, pre-industrial city. Okay, pre-industrial society. In Chinese, okay, you can see that we understand that there's a term 天狗食月啦。This is about solar eclipse 月食。Okay, and then in Chinese there was a legend about there's a dog and then he stole the moon, and then at that time when there was a solar eclipse, okay, you cannot see the sun. Okay, the people scared, and then they will think about this is something bad luck happen, and then there may be something you may make the goddess okay unhappy, or this about a legend like the 天狗食月. Okay, in Chinese. Okay, and then after the modern society, and then in the time of the modern society, people have a scientific way to understand what is solar eclipse. 咩叫月食? Okay, that means it is when the moon and then evolve between the earth and then the sun. Okay, and then somehow the moon, okay, in a line with the sun, the moon, the earth, and then the sun in a line. Okay, and then the sun will be shaped blocked by the moon, and then that is the reason why the people on the earth can only see part of the sun. Okay, and then there's an eclipse. Okay, and then this is scientific explanation about the solar eclipse. Okay, and then in the pre-industrial society, people didn't know that because people at that time were illiterate, or even though they just heard from the myth and then they believed the myth. Okay, it is about the stolen of from a dog. Okay, and then it is about the legendary about about the goddess. Okay, and then about the goddess. Okay, and then in the Chinese society, and then they did not have the mindset about it's a scientific way about the evolutions of the evolving, the evolutions of the moon and then the sun and then the on the earth and the earth. Okay, and then people did not have the mindset about, and then the people in the past just believe what the meaning of solar eclipse is about the legend. Okay, and there's about in the Chinese term 天狗食月. Okay, and then this is about the pre-industrial society and how they interpret, they assign the meaning of the solar eclipse. Okay, and then in the modern world, people becomes the people in the society becomes less disenchanted, and then they become less mysterious about just believe in the belief in the tradition, believe in what the ancestor told, and then no more this kind of unknown traditions, okay, and then without any scientific proof, okay, this kind of saying, okay, and then you can see that become disenchanted. 咁呢個咧就係講緊咧，就係話用緊天九食月呢個例子就係講緊咧，就係話而家嘅人同以前嘅人同而家嘅人點樣去睇嗰個社會個睇個社會入邊發生嘅事啊，咁變咗呢個就係講緊而家嘅人就會變咗係更加多嗰個科學嘅證據，同埋會用一個科學嘅常識去睇。OK， and it's about modern society, how to rationalize the society. In the past, they just believe in myth or the traditions, or even though by the verbal history, and then from the ancestor to pass to generation to generations. Okay, but right now people not only believe in the myth, okay, but they just not focus on the myth, but they would try to understand understand the reality, and then by using the scientific way. Okay, this is about the people become disenchanted. 呢個用緊呢個例子嚟做example， 明唔明呢度？天九食月，明唔明？明唔明啊 ？O 唔 OK？ 得唔得呢度？明唔明？呢個 modern society rationalize OK 啊 ？OK。Okay, and then Max Weber, what he always emphasized that Max Weber also emphasized that, okay, and then in a modern society, the social organization is rationalized and bureaucratized. Okay, bureaucratized, that means it is a term that means, okay, using emphasizing efficiency, okay, and any things that will be bureaucratized, 官僚化, that will be used as emphasize the high level of efficiency, high level of using the rules and regulations, okay, and then to try to make standardize the process. Okay, this is about the bureaucratized. Bureaucracy is an organization model. It is an organizational model that make all the tasks that can perform efficiently, effectively, okay, without any humanized reasons, okay, and then they would just follow the rules and regulations and then to perform in an organization. It is about Max Weber, okay, or also emphasized, okay, when he investigate about the symbolic interaction approach, he understood that in the modern society is one of the characteristics in the society, and then the operation of society actually rationalized and then bureaucratized in our nowadays world. And then the characteristics of the these are the characteristics of the bureaucratic organizations. Okay, first, and then all the communications. Okay, actually bureaucratized society organization not only occurred in society, but also you can see them in the many social institutions. For example, like in school, in government, in different departments in our government, and also in school, in even though in public sectors, NGOs, and even in private sectors, in commercial corporation. And then these are the one of the characteristics in the modern society. And then many organizations, they will use this kind of bureaucratic organizational skills in operations. And then usual, okay, you can see that bureaucratic organization, they will see that as usual, the communication will be informal, written by email, telephone call, as usual in the written, because we wanted to have the record, black and white record, and then that make the communication more formal. You cannot just go to for example, like you wanted to settle something with settle a disagreement with a telecom supply telecom communication supplier. You can write an email for complaint, or even though you wanted to buy a flat, okay, you wanted to make it black and white and then make it formal and then make it as a record. You can use a formal written communications, okay, instead of just using hearsay. I just told you, and then you will believe what I told, okay, and I tell you, and then you believe what I told. You cannot just use the oral record, oral as a record again for a communications. Okay, and then you can see that for the bureaucratic organization, usually we use formal and written communication, black and white. Okay, and then in order to safeguard the rights of the both parties, you and the other key stakeholders, you can see that for the black and white record, what I want to say it is. And then specialization in an organization, you can see that the jobs and duties and responsibility are divided into very specialized lines, specialized way. For example, in an organization, okay, someone perform as marketing, someone perform accounting, someone perform in the front line as sales, and someone perform as a management. Okay, they are specialized. Okay, specialized, and people just work on his own, his or her own job duties as specializations. Okay, hierarchy of position in a bureaucratic organization. We have different hierarchy. We have different posts. Okay, and then we have the reporting line. I have to report to my supervisor. Supervisor report to the manager. Manager report to the director. Director report to the CEO. CEO report to the group partner. Okay, and then you can see that from the hierarchy. Okay, and then everyone has their own in the particular position. You have your rights, and then also your ability, and then to control control your work, and then control the people you belongs to. And then it's a hierarchy of positions. You have the different role, you have different position. The higher the position, you have to have the more power to control. Okay, and then we have the rules and regulations in bureaucratic organizations. We have, for example, in an organization, for example, I want to have a annual leave. Okay, you have the regulation about how many days you can apply for leave. Okay, and then for the application procedure, you have the regulation. For example, I have to apply 7 days before before my leave. Okay, you have the minimum of date for the applications of your annual leave. And there are so many rules of regulations. For example, like you are pregnant. Okay, you wanted to have maternity leave. Okay, you wanted to give birth to a baby, and then you have the regulations. Okay, when you apply, and then and then how many days of maternity leave you can enjoy. Okay, and then there's a rules and regulations. And then for example, there are so many rules and regulations in an organizations. Okay, even though you are in private sector or in public sectors. Okay, and then technical competence. Okay, and everyone may have his own technical competence. For example, if you are working in marketing, you have the marketing sense, marketing skills. Okay, if you are working in accounting department, you have to acquire the accounting qualifications. Okay, and then whenever you are entitled to that positions, okay, you have the technical competence. Okay, in personality, that means you cannot be personalized. You can be, for example, like you wanted to have a annual leave. Suddenly you wanted the annual leave. You must follow the rules and regulations. You cannot just go to knock on the door of your supervisor and tell him or her to say that I want to take a leave tomorrow, and then I have to leave now. Okay, something like that. Okay, you cannot have the impersonality. Even though for example, something happened in your family, you feel down, you feel unhappy, but you cannot be personalized. You cannot think that is a personal issue that can affect your work. You have to still go to work as usual. Okay, and then this is about impersonality, and then you have to follow the guidelines or follow the instruction from your boss, and then to perform well in an organizations. Okay, and then not feeling you are special, or you wanted to have some other extra or personal additional care. Like everyone in your team or in the company will be equally treated. Okay, and then this is about impersonality. Okay, don't take something personal, and then you wanted to have some more additional or flavor. Okay, and then this is about bureaucratic organizations. You can see from working in government or working in large corporation, you can realize, okay, the bureaucratic organization, the characteristics very obvious when you compare with some from some other in the past old days in the 50 or 60, and I use that example. For example, in the past, okay, when the people they wanted to have their own little shop, okay, and then all the workers in the restaurant or cafes or even though in a tiny workshop for tailor, okay, and then they are relatives, and then you can be more personalized because all of them are relatives, and then they work together, and then there are less rules and regulations. But somehow in a modern society, when we are working in a large corporation, and then all the daily operation must be stick with the routine set by your managers. Okay, we have the specialized jobs and responsibility. You cannot change the job from marketing to accounting. Okay, something like that. And then you must be communicate formally. Okay, and then also you may have your own technical competence. And then you have to stick with the rules and regulations for the daily operation. And then to make your work less personalized, less emotional. Okay, and then you have to perform standardized, okay, and then when you compare with the other colleagues, okay, and then you can see that these are the 6 characteristics of bureaucratic organizations. 明唔明呢度？明唔明？ O 唔 OK？OK 啊 ？OK。Okay, and then the rationalizations of society. Okay, and then Max Weber will emphasize. He tried to investigate about the characteristics of the modern society, and then he also explained the problem of bureaucracy. The bureaucracy that it would be good side. That good side would be standardized all the procedures, and then everyone perform with the high level of conformity. 個個人做嘢好一致，好標準化 and then with a high level of efficiency. But somehow with the downside will be dehumanize the people, and then the people will be the individual potential, the individual strength will be devalued, okay, and then because everyone just like working in an iron cage, 一個好冰冷嘅一個籠入邊咁 everyone just like an iron cage cold because impersonalized, okay, and then everyone just like a little part in a ever moving mechanism， 好似一個世界一個好大嘅巨輪入邊，即係好大嘅一個我哋指一個好冰冷嘅世界入邊一個好細嘅一個齒輪啦 ，OK， 一個好細嘅齒輪不住，只係一個 small potato 咁，我哋好似每個人都係Under the system of bureaucracy, everyone just like a little tiny small potato, and then a little small cog, okay, and then in a fast moving, never stop mechanism, okay, and then dehumanize the people, okay, and then many people may have their own strengths and also potential, but under this system, because all the people have to standardize their work, standardize operation, everyone has to obey the rules and regulations. We cannot work beyond the regulations, okay, and then maybe many potential will be underestimated under this kind of bureaucracy. Inefficiency and somehow bureaucratic ritualism. That means emphasize the bureaucratic operation, and that can make the bureaucracy become an end in themselves, rather a means to an end. Actually, bureaucratic organization tool that can help us to work efficiently, right? It is actually a mean to an end. It is a method, a solution method, and then to achieve the objective. But somehow when the people too much emphasize rationalize the use of the bureaucracy with regardless the people needs, regardless the real situation, everything stick with the rules and regulation, and then that will become an end. That will become an end. That will become the final goal. But it is no longer a solution to an end. Okay, it's not a means to an end. 呢個咧就話翻俾你聽，變咗嗰個官僚化，變咗最後一個目的，變咗最後一個目的，唔係去到係一個方法嚟去達至到目的啊。本末倒置咗。And then I use an example a couple of years ago. When there was a tragedy in Hong Kong, okay, and then when it is a young man, okay, he discovered that her father fainted at home, and then he tried to call a taxi, and then try to try to help his dad, and then he wanted to brought his dad to the hospital, and then he tried to hire a cab. Okay, and when the cab arrived to the hospital, okay, and then he wanted to ask the characters. This is about this incident at characters hospital, and then at the entrance of the characters hospital, and then he asked the staff, okay, to take care the emergency case outside the entrance of the hospital. At that time, the staff, the receptions, okay, of the characters hospital, the staff saying that you told the young man, you said that because you did not call the 999, okay, the emergency call, and then without the ambulance, we cannot, they could not to take up this case and then to the emergency, and that's all the cases to the A&E, to the A&E must be taken care by the ambulance. Okay, that's why they asked that young man to try to call 999, okay, and then to ask for the ambulance, okay, to take care of that patient, okay, and then eventually, because the time passed, okay, and then eventually, and then because of that bureaucratic staff, that staff too bureaucratic, okay, and then eventually, and then that old man, okay, because of the error in this kind of communications and this kind of following this kind of weird regulation, okay, and then the old man passed away. 咁呢個就講緊一個咧，幾年前喺明愛醫院有件事件發生，就係話有個仔就見到爸爸暈咗，跟住就即刻 call 的士，就帶咗個仔，帶咗爸爸就去到明愛醫院嗰度，咁就失救啦。因為點解？因為嗰個明愛醫院嗰個咧就好官僚化咧，就話啊你個 case 唔可以入到我哋個 A&E 嘅喎，因為我哋跟程序做，一定要 call 白車先入得嚟㗎，你唔可以就咁做啊，又入唔到嚟啊點。跟住個仔就即刻 call， 即刻 call 3條9啦 ，call 個999啦。跟住後尾去到最後咧，嗰個999嚟嘅情況之下咧，就跟住個仔嗰個爸爸已經失救咗，就死咗啦。OK， and then this is about and this is an example about if you too emphasize the bureaucracy without any flexibility, without any without any because it's too impersonalized, okay, and then without any flexibility, that can make this kind of tragedy happen, okay. And then it's about a tragedy. It's about a couple of years ago when there was a young man trying to call for the emergency to save his father, but at the end it was rejected at the entrance of the characters hospital because that young man did not follow the instructions, to follow the procedures of calling the ambulance and then to transport his dad to the A&E department, the emergency department. Okay, and then eventually the case was being rejected by the receptions. Okay, and then this an incident you can see that too bureaucratic that will make the efficiency that can turn the efficiency into inefficiency. Okay, you can see that. 咁呢個就係講緊咧，就係話如果你太過官僚嘅情況之下咧，亦都會令到嗰個制度話令到太過官僚化嘅話咧，令到都做反而係本末倒置咗嘅呢個情況。OK。Okay, and then what is the problem of bureaucracy? And then let's continue. And then inertia, it refers to tendency of bureaucratic organizations to perpetuate themselves. That means, okay, perpetuate, that means that will be forever exist. Okay, and then the inertia, because of the bureaucracy. For example, in the pre-1997, okay, all the civil government actually are alive, they work. Their work is a lifespan, very long super annual scheme. That means you are 終身制 super annual scheme. It is not the contract, but you hire when your civil servant needs the work lifespan is very long. Okay, and then the people may think that I am in a civil I'm a civil servant and I was in a contract with super annual contract, not a yearly contract. Okay, in the post 97. Okay, many jobs. Okay, they offer in a 2-year contract or 1-year contract. You have to perform very well and then to renew the contract. Otherwise, you cannot continue the contract. Okay. In the pre-97, many organizations, they will offer the job to the employee with the superannual contract. That means, okay, it's a lifelong contract unless you resign, unless you did something pretty bad, okay, and then and then your employer will fire you, okay. It is not a renewal contract. The contract will not be renewed by 2 years or 1 year or 3 years, okay, something like that. And then that will make the people become lazy, and then will make the people become just rely on the rules and regulation, but too bureaucratic, and then without any creativity, without any flexibility, without any motivation to work better, to perform better. And then that is about inertia. OK， 懶惰啊，跟住就話以前係終身制啦，好多工都係有啲終身制嘅工啦，除非而家嘅97之後好多工咧，為咗節省成本啦嚇，好多公司咧就係用1年制、2年制、3年制咁樣做啦，即係你要 renew contract 啦，你要做得好，你先可以有嗰個合約先會再 renew 啦。And then 咁所以啲人咧，如果以前終身制嗰啲咧，就會覺得啊，我做下36唔做下36啦，咁我咪懶惰咯。咁咪變咗我亦都唔會諗 flexibility 啦，我亦都唔會諗做好啲啦。咁我全部嘢都係覺得我做到就算數，或者原來就話總之就變咗係懶惰，唔會再去諗咯。OK， and then you will see, you will ask why in the pre-97 or the post-97 there is why there is this kind of the change of the contract, because in the past there is the pension schemes. Okay, for the pre-97 many organizations, big organizations, many the civil servants. Okay, their contract with pension scheme. Okay, and then they're lifelong contract, and then at the end of the day, okay, when you work till year 60, and then you can get the pension scheme, okay, with a very good pensions for your retirement. But currently in post 97, no longer with the pension scheme, no longer there is a superannual contract, and then as usual the contract will be renewed for every 2 years or every year or every 3 years. It depends different types of work, okay, and then after the renewal of the contract and no pension scheme, and then they give you the MPF, or also give you the MPF, okay, the MPF scheme. And then that's why in the past, if you were working in this kind of pension scheme contract, okay, the contract with pension scheme, and then the people will become lazy and become less motivated, because they are just waiting for the day of the retirement, okay, and then every day just follow the instruction, follow the regulation, and then not to do something beyond the regulation. They can safeguard their jobs, okay, and that make the work become inertia. Oligarchy, that means the organization managed by a group of few people. I use in the bureaucratic organization, the usual the structure will be like a pyramid. Okay, the workers, okay, with the lower end will be in the base, with the border base, okay, and then with a higher power, the number of people will be lesser. That means in a pyramid, the top of the pyramid, the top of an organization will be the top management, and then that means, okay, in an organization, in a pyramid, okay, the topmost people will rule the rest of the organization. That means, okay, the organization actually is managed, controlled by few. Okay, oligarchy. Okay, oligarchy. That means in a bureaucratic structure. That means, okay, that the organization, okay, that's only governed by few. Again, these few people will over control the rest of the people in organizations, and then this group of people with less accountability to the rest of the people. And then no need to be consult when they make the decisions, or when they run the organizations. They no need to ask for open consultation, or ask for the advice, ask for and then to be accountable to the rest of the employees. And then they just govern by few, and then they make their own decisions, and then they just just manage the directions of the organizations. That is the oligarchy. 咁呢個咧就講緊咧就係話 oligarchy 咧就係話翻俾你聽就係話一個機構係只係由一眾小眾一小撮嘅人去控制啦。咁你會睇得到，咁一定係咁樣大機構入邊基層嘅人佔多數，咪好似一個金字塔咁喺個底度咯。越高級嘅人係越少數噶嘛。咁越上到最頂嗰陣時候，咪越成個機構最大嘅機構只係能夠由幾個人去幾個最高領導嘅人去管治咯。咁由佢最高領導嘅管治嘅情況之下，但係都唔需要係對下邊嘅所有嘅人去問責嘅，亦都唔需要同嗰啲人嘅交代嘅，佢哋自己由佢哋去決策晒成間公司嘅方向嘅。Okay, this is about the problem of bureaucracy. Okay, and then not accountable to the mass to the rest of the people in the organizations. Okay, this is about the oligarchy. Okay, and then it's about why we mentioned about McDonald's. This is about another sociologist called G. Reiser. Okay, G. Reiser, he actually adopted the approach of Max Weber. Okay, he tried to investigate about the organization structure and then also the organization pattern, and then he used McDonald's as an example. And then he mentioned about the McDonald's actually is just like just like a society. He used the McDonald's as an example because he also is a symbolic. He also a follower of symbolic. This symbolic approach, and then he emphasized about what Max Weber investigate about the characteristics of modern society, and then he tried to further investigate about the other organizations like McDonald's, and then try to make use of McDonald's, the characteristics of McDonald's, the pattern of McDonald's, okay, and then to echo what Weber said.咁 Max Weber 咧就係一個 sociologist， 就係已經講咗啦，用呢個 symbolic approach 啦。咁呢個咧 Reiser 咧就係一個嘅亦都有一個 study 嘅喺93年入邊，即係就話翻俾你聽咧，就係話佢咧就亦都用緊麥當勞嗰個成個嗰個管治嘅方法咧嚟到去睇得到嗰個形態咧，其實好似阿 Max Weber 咁講。Max Weber 係講緊即係modern society 係咁樣嘛。佢用咁住呢個人咧就話翻俾你聽，佢都係信奉翻都係相信嗰個呢個嘅 approach 嘅。咁但係咧佢就想用麥當勞去睇翻究竟成個 society 係點樣樣。And then this sociologist, okay, and then he emphasized that. Actually, McDonald's is part of the symbol of U.S. culture, and then involving four major characteristics. Actually, that same as what Weber said, because Max Weber said that bureaucratic organization that always emphasizes efficiency, right? And then when Reiser investigated about the case of McDonald's, actually he said that actually that echo what Weber said in the characteristic of the modern society. And then you can see that in the McDonald's, he emphasizes that because it's a worldwide chain of fast food chain restaurants in the world, okay, and then it emphasizes efficiency, okay, and then you can see that all the burgers, all the products actually standardized with the very high level efficiency, okay, and then for the McDonald's, when you order, and then when you order, and then the steps are very clear, and then also when you pay the money, and then you wait for around 5 minutes, and then you can take your burger, okay, and then it's about the high level of efficiency that involve about the flow of the operation, and then they planned, and then every worker in the every positions, and then how to be the cashier, and then who make the burgers, and then who deliver the burger, who notify the customers, and then to take the burgers, and then the flow, the service flow will be very clear, and then with the very high efficiency in the food processing. And then the predictability, they use machines, they also use the computers, and then to calculate all the daily operations, okay. And then they predict about how many products to be produced, and then how much profit they can gain, and then how much the expenditure they have to spend, and then to predictability. This is about the McDonald's, the operation. They will predict the operation. Every step they have to to use the computer to predict. Okay, and then the uniformity. That means you can see that in U.S., even though in the U.S. there are so many different branches of McDonald's in different states, and outside U.S. there are so many restaurants. Okay, outside United States. Okay, you can see that there's a high level of uniformity. You can see that the standard of the McDonald's. Okay, they emphasize the McDonald's always emphasize the high level of quality, the value, the service, and cleanliness. Okay, you can see that McDonald's they keep the quite a certain level of standard in United States and outside United States markets. Okay, you can see that is about the uniformity. 好一致性㗎，好多覺得又好相同一致性㗎。And then you can see that, and then is the high level of control as well. And then you can see that in McDonald's there are the franchise. Okay, and then even though there are so many McDonald's restaurants in over the world. Okay, and then you can see that there are very good control about the quality. Okay, the franchise, the quality. You can see that the milkshakes. You can see the French fries. You can see that the French fries, the potatoes. Okay, even though you are in Hong Kong, and then the Hong Kong McDonald's they will import the same quality of potato chips, okay, potatoes, okay, for the French fries, for the beef burger, and then the beef, and then they import from the same suppliers, okay, and then for the burger, for the eggs, okay, and then there's a very good control of the quality of the food, okay, the suppliers, okay, and then for the soft drinks, they have the same suppliers for the soft drinks, okay, even though you are having McDonald's in Brazil, having McDonald's in Beijing, having McDonald's in Japan, having McDonald's in Hong Kong, you can see that the high level conformity because of the high level of control, the control of the quality, okay, and then you can see that these are the McDonaldizations, okay, the characteristics of McDonald's. And then these sociologists, they emphasize that because of this characteristic, actually echo what Weber said. It is the part of the organizational, the bureaucratic characteristics of in organizations. And then McDonald's not only operates in US but operate over the world. That means, okay, there is the McDonaldizations in the society in everywhere. Okay, and then that could make the McDonaldization that will become that will become more widely spread and more well received by the people outside United States. OK， 咁呢個就講緊啦，就McDonaldization of society， 因為呢個講緊就係麥當勞無處不在㗎啦，去到咁亦都會講翻同阿 Weber 講嘅嘢差唔多啦，因為都係講緊一個有比較官僚嘅組織嘅形式啦，咁亦都講求翻要有翻呢4個嘅特色嘅情況之下咧，你會見到成個世界變得好麥當勞化咗，咁亦都睇翻呢個，亦都能夠去同翻 Weber 講嘅嘢，就係講緊一個好官僚化嘅社會制度啦。呢、這個就講緊。And then Reiser using McDonaldization to emphasize, okay, actually the existence of the bureaucratic organizations, actually it happens everywhere. They use the McDonald's, this case as an example. Actually, it is a mini showcase. McDonald's is actually a mini showcase of the society in the world. Okay, you can see that 呢個就根本係一個社會上邊你會見到一個麥當勞化嘅情況，其實等於會係四圍都會發生緊嘅，即係同阿 Weber 講緊嗰個社會現狀一樣啦。一個官僚化嘅社會入邊，嗰個制度就會係咁嘅情況。咁但係用緊麥當勞嚟到睇嘅情況之下，其實麥當勞去到四圍都係嘅情況之下咧，其實成個社會都做緊呢一個官僚化嘅一個制度嘅運作咯，呢個就講緊。And then when the people are too much, okay, about the ultimately, okay, you can see that when we using this kind of bureaucratic organizations, okay, to rule the world, to rule the society. Actually, one day, okay, the people, the human being will lose control, and then that will be the human being will be replaced by machines, by computer, being replaced by this kind of bureaucratic organizations. Okay, this is about the when this kind of bureaucratic organization okay become more and more powerful. Okay, somehow one day people will be replaced. 呢個就講緊咧，就係話係佢講嘅 Reiser 講緊嘅就係話，如果有一日 所有嘢都係咁官僚化嘅情況，即係有一日人咧就應該會被取締啦，被呢啲咁嘅制度啦，被呢啲咁樣嘅官僚化嘅管理嘅方法咧就會被取締，即係冇咗人性化，冇咗嗰個彈性啊！就講緊呢樣嘢，明唔明 ？Any questions？ 明唔明啊？麥當勞思純呢個，話明啊Max Weber 明唔明啊 ？Hello， 聽唔聽到我講嘢 ？Hello，Is it OK？OK 啊？係咪真係有聽我講説話？真係有聽到嘛？明啊嘛 ？OK，lastly， there is a chart to compare three approaches. Okay, and then you can see those three approaches. They will have different perspective when we look into the society. First one, okay, structural functional approach. They will say that individual. They will occupy in the society and then with different roles. And then for the social conflict approach, individuals are subordinate to society because they are under the economic system, capitalist, okay? And then individual, you are, even though in a society, okay, we have different class, and then the class will have the struggle, and then the people actually are subordinate, okay? And then symbolic interaction, that means, okay, individual and society are interdependent, how the people interact, okay? And then the people have different meanings to this kind of symbols, and then that make the society with the reality, okay? 咁呢三個 approaches 就睇第一個 relationship between individual to society 唔同啦 ，okay? What is inequality? Inequality is inevitable and not functional for the society. That means, okay, people will have different roles, different functions. When the people, they cooperate well, integrate well, or cooperate well, and then to carry out each function, because they are interdependent, okay, and then there will be the harmony. And then the social conflict approach, inequality results because of the struggle, power struggle, class struggle. Okay, inequality, they demonstrate through the importance of symbol because how the people see the things, okay, and then they will cause inequality. Okay, this is about the symbolic interaction approach. Okay, how you see, how you interpret. We will mention more about this point in culture. You will see that in culture, in the topic of culture, we can say that how the people see the culture, how the people interpret the symbol, we have different meaning. For example, like stereotype, for example, like racism, for example, like about different meaning in the culture. You will see the inequality. Just like last time, we mentioned about the exercise. We mentioned about teen mothers, right? And then when the people, how do they perceive teen mothers? For example, like last exercise, we already did it about the teen mothers in United States, black teen mothers, or the teen mothers in teen mothers in poor family. Okay, teen mothers in middle class middle income group family, you will have different interpretation. This is about inequality. It is how the people see the things. Okay, and then this is about inequality. 嗱，咁呢度咧，我用中文講少少啦。咁呢個就係話俾你聽，點為知道 inequality？ 就話第一個 approach 咧，就話俾你聽，如果人人能夠可以各盡其職嘅話，每人帶出個 function 嘅，其實咧嗰啲 function 都可以令到成個社會和諧嘅。呢個就話俾你聽，社會永遠都唔會和諧噶啦，因為所有人其實都會係有唔公平嘅分佈嘅 resources 都唔公平嘅，所以一定要鬥爭。OK， 咁呢個就話俾你聽，究竟點會有 inequality 係睇到啲人點樣去睇嗰件事。譬如我用咗上一堂嗰個練習咧，咪講個黑人嗰個未婚媽媽。咁未婚媽媽，如果你係個黑人嘅未婚媽媽嚟自一個窮嘅家庭入邊嚟講嗰個練習啊，咁你有冇睇得到？嗰啲人咪會就咁睇啊？你係嚟自黑人嘅家庭，你一定係冇教育啦，亦都唔能夠去 control 下你嘅 sex drive 嗰個啊。咁呢個咪叫 inequality 咯？你明唔明我咩意思啊 ？Last time when we mentioned, last time in our in-class discussions, okay, in-class discussion. We have the teen mothers. The teen mothers is about the black teen mothers in United States. Okay, when the people think of teen mothers from the black, they will associate with poor, single parent family. they will associate with poor control of sex drive, or they give birth because of their planted to do so, because they wanted to get more social welfare. Okay, this about the inequality demonstrate about how the people see the things, how the people perceive, how the people assign the meaning to the symbols. Okay, it's about symbolic interaction approach. And what is social order? Okay, social order stem from the consensus on the public values. Okay, about the order, the people to share the same habits, same values, same traditions. Okay, for example, like in Japan, people are very with the high solidarity, and then they when they cross the road, and then they see the green lights, and then all the people with have a very high unity, with a high level of unity conformity, and then they will cross the road when the light is green. Okay, and then you can see that is about about in this structural functional approach. Okay, the people, we have the consensus. Okay. In the Japanese people, they have a very high level of consensus in the social consolidate。咁你睇到咧，日本人咧係有一個好嗰個民族係一個好高共同意識嘅民族嚟㗎，咁變咗佢哋個成個 socialization 咧就話俾你聽，由小學啊、中學啦教到你一定好有規矩，咁變咗成個地方變咗嗰個 social order 咪變咗係好一致咯。我用日本人嚟做例子咯。Okay, and then this one, the social order is maintained through power and coercion. Okay, that means order is about power struggle. All the thing is about social order. If you want to have a good social order, must have the power struggle, class struggle. Okay, and then social order is sustained through the social interactions, and then also how you interpret the norms. Okay, and then this is about the interactions. Okay, but from the interactions. Okay, and then to give the meaning to the norms. What is about the social change? Okay, and then that in the first approach about equilibrium, when when the people inside that they share the interdependence with each other. Okay, and then there will be the social equilibrium. And then the other one, there must be through the mobilization of people, and then to struggle, class struggle, revolution, and then to get to become the source of the social change. This one, ever evolving, change the relationship, change the mindset, change what they think the world will, and then that can make the changes. 呢三個咧就睇得到有唔同啦。呢個第一個就係每個人各盡其職，每個人一個自己帶翻出做翻你自己嗰個嘅互相依賴嘅功能咧，咁成個社會就和諧噶啦，咁就會帶嚟改變嘅啦。呢個一定係鬥爭，不停鬥爭，要鬥爭嘅，要攞多啲嘢就要鬥爭嘅。咁跟住呢個咧就係話翻俾你聽，當到人嘅想法、人嘅睇法、想法有唔同嘅見解嘅情況，啲嘢會開始改變嚇。咁呢個就係講緊呢三個唔同嘅 approaches 嘅睇嘅嘢唔同啦。OK。Any questions about the three approaches and then all the PowerPoint？ 今日會唔會又係講得超快？明唔明？喂，喺咪度 ？Hello，still OK 啊 ？Lorraine O 唔 OK 啊？你覺得 O 唔 OK 啊？即係會唔會太快？一嚿嚿可以。其他同學會唔會又話掠住唔知我講乜？ Students, I just noticed there are students. This is really fine. Okay, and then I know that there are students from mainland, and students they are non-Cantonese speaker. As far as I know, I get the class list. Okay, is there any problem for you to understand the lectures? Even though I already tried to supplement a little bit with Cantonese because I'm trying to because too complicated. I try to supplement with some Cantonese, but up to 80%, 90% I'm using English. Okay, can you understand? Especially for the student from mainland, how much can you understand the lectures? Because this one is the most difficult one. These three approaches are most difficult, and then the rest of the lecture will be easier, and then more straightforward. 呢啲的学生你可不可以听得懂啊？因为有时候我用很短的时间，我是用一点点的广东话，我有一点担心你可不可以听得懂我的英语的课程 的課文的內容，你可不可以聽得懂啊？有沒有問題啊？內地的學生，內地的同學，有問題啊 ？Any questions about for some non-Cantonese speaker? Okay, can you understand the elaborations about the lectures? Even though I use a little bit supplementary elaboration in Cantonese. Is it okay? Okay. Okay, if okay, I will let you to try a exercise. You can get back to me next week. It's about let me share with you. 有啲難嘅呢個，冇辦法，真係我都唔想。Okay, I just finished. Okay, trust me, this is the most difficult one. This lecture. Okay, after this lecture, everything will be very smooth. Okay, no worry. Okay, you just need to you just need to remember the keywords. You remember keywords in the 3 approaches, and then you can go through it. Okay, and then can you see the exercise 1 on the screen? 睇唔睇到嗰個嘢功課 ？Okay, you can see. Okay, 阿貴雖然未睇到啊。Okay, you can see that. Okay, you can take your time to try this exercise. Okay, you right. Okay, and then you can bring the answer and we can discuss. Okay, next time when you come to the class, next week, you can come to the class and then we can discuss. I will let you to do it at home. Okay, and then this is about the in-class exercise 1. Okay, and then this is about, you already know the 3 approaches. 3 approaches, the structural functional, okay, social conflict, and then the symbolic, right? 3, okay. And then I give you a topic, sports. No need to submit. You just do it, and then we when you come back, okay, next week, and then we can openly discuss the answer. No need to submit. Okay, just do it at home, and then let me know how much you understand what the 3 approaches, and then we can just casually discuss in the class when you come. 下堂返嚟，你講個答案俾我聽，你自己寫啲乜 ？We already go through 3 approaches, right? Okay, one is the structural, the other one is social conflict, the third one is about the symbolic. The topic is sports. Okay, can you write some questions? You can ask some questions. Okay, using the 3 approaches. Okay, to ask questions. Using these approaches to ask questions, and then let me know how much you understand. 你用嗰3個 approaches 去諗究竟關於 sports 嘅嘢，你能夠可以諗到邊有冇啲關於 sports 嘅嘢？可唔可以諗3條題目出嚟？即係三個 way of thinking 出嚟，即係講個你 you use for example you use social conflict approach, and then I want you to write about a questions. You can ask a questions. You can raise a questions in social conflict approach. You can ask a questions about sports in structural functionalist approach. You can ask a questions about sports in symbolic approach. It is difficult, but I want you to try to write. Okay, you can spend 10 minutes, okay, and to think and then to write the questions. 睇下你寫唔寫到出嚟啊？ Okay, because I don't want to waste too much time in the class next week. Okay, and then that's why I asked you to try to think. Okay, in these 3 approaches. Okay, what question you will ask? Okay, and using the sports. The topic of sports, okay, and then you can bring your answer to the class next week. 我預咗你諗唔到㗎，我預咗㗎，但係問題係試下啫。I think you can manage the first 2 one. I think the third one, the symbolic, very difficult. But I want you to try to think. Okay, you can ask a questions about using using particular one approach, okay, and then to ask the questions, and then let's see what you can think about sports in the 3 approaches. Okay, 明唔明我講乜？你試下做下，問一條問題，可以寫一條問題出嚟，咁用一個 approach， 用一個。問一條 That's why when you come back, you can write down 3 questions using approach 1, approach 2, approach 3, and then you can tell me what you can think of about sports. Okay, it is difficult, but I think the first two one you can manage. But if you are very smart, I hope that you can do the third one, so the third approach. Okay, we can discuss when you come back to the class. Okay, if you feel it is very difficult, try to listen to the recording today, and then to ensure you understand